What is happening, folks? As you can see, I brought these two gorgeous women. This is really weird. I brought these two lovely friends of mine, John and Terry. I don't know why John Terry came to my mind there, but we have two beers because it's a very special occasion, folks. Altt's new album, Ataraxia, is here. Now, you may notice, Drew, it's a Friday morning. Why are you drinking? You fucking maniac. Well, we're not I'm stuttering. We are definitely stuttering, but we're not only drinking. I'm the worst influence ever right now. It is a Tuesday because it's not Friday morning. I've been lying to you a lot. I've got this album a little bit earlier as well, but we also have a vape. I am a fucking loser. Look, I said I'd rather just get it out of the way straight away in case I just grab for it without thinking about it. I've lost the run of myself over here in Portugal. I'm drinking every day. I'm vaping. I was doing coke. I wasn't doing coke. I'm joking. Okay, right. Stop. I'm over-exaggerating the fuck out of everything here. John and Terry are here. Altt's new album, Ataraxia, is here. Again, I have some cringe-looking website thing with the early access link, so it might be a bit messy. We'll figure it out after in the edit. But I'm very excited about this one. And not just because it's like, oh, it's been a clean sweep for the singles, but this is Altt's second album. It feels like only yesterday that I was listening to their debut album in 2024. But now they're back with their second album. Again, From the New World, incredible album. Very, very hard to follow up in a sophomore album. I think that's what they say. I said this in the last video as well. Is it called sophomore album when it's a second album? I think so. It's a very American thing to say that, but it's their second fucking album, okay? When did we stop saying second album? It's their sophomore. Shut up, all right? I'm the one who said it, and I'm telling myself to shut up. I'm included. I look like a tennis player right now. I'm aware of that. Or maybe like a failed tennis coach. Tennis players probably sounds a bit braggadocious. I look like a failed tennis coach is what I look like right now. I'm in the process of growing my hair out a little bit. So kind of have to deal with this nonsense all the time. A bit annoying. I'll probably get to the stage I did the last time when I tried to grow it out and then just go back to getting a skin fade because I'm a pathetic little freak who can't stick to anything. And I'm degrading myself a lot in this episode. Shall we get into this album? It is 9 songs. And again, like I said in the Boundaries video, it's not often I sit down with a beer for an album, but I am very excited about this one because, again, there's been like a bit of controversy around it with people not really loving the songs. I think they're all right. Let's find some common ground, or let's find some nuance in this conversation. I still think the From the New World singles were way better. I'm meeting them in the middle here because I'm like, let them cook. But the day of the cooking has arrived, or the day of serving the dinner that has been cooked has arrived, and now it's time for me to listen to this and see if Allt have fallen off. Okay, I'm being dramatic, all right, but I'm gonna open this and we're gonna get balls deep in these motherfuckers. Well, this is awkward. Didn't get it on the first one. Video ruined. Okay, we fallen. I mean, if I didn't hear the singles, we're back, you know? Quite a different intro to the debut album. We had the, like, kind of spoken word debut album that led into Revenant's debut song.
Stop signs, repeating my willpower, defeated, I just had to leave it. Cause I'm tied to the bars of this cage. I wouldn't surrender the course if you brought me to play. It's the gravity of my escape. If this is all that I am, then this is all I can say. If I had something to say,
it's there.
But in this state of decay, I can do days and nights, another city just passed me by. If I had something to say, would you care or die? Would you care or die?
No? Okay. That sounds like song from Architects there. Like a song melody in the new era. Alright. If I had something to say. It was that little run. That sounded like one of the new Architect songs. Say. Okay, right. A lot to talk about there because I think that was an almost perfect blend of the old and new. We'll call it new. No pun intended with the song being called New Day. Allt sound. The ending brought me right back to maybe even like Emanate. Paralyzed a little bit in some of the heavier moments. And also some of the stuff off From the New World. I'm pretty sure Emanate was on From the New World. Ignore me. Maybe it wasn't, I can't remember. But you get the point. But it was also very much so in line vocally in the verse sections and the chorus with what we've heard so far from the singles, which I guess makes sense. We've heard the singles. It's not like they're just going to completely change the sound of the singles and the non-singles would be, you know, all different. But I'm a little bit torn on that song. Yeah, it has like Allt-esque moments, especially towards the end when it gets a little bit heavier. I think they were pick scraping there at the end. I couldn't really tell. It sounded real like Reiki, but I think it was ultimately a pick scrape. But I don't know. I don't love the vocals. Again, I love this band and I'm all for them experimenting. And again, it's their second fucking album. But just being like completely objective about it and honest about it, I just don't love this like new sound they're going for. Again, we have a lot of new songs to listen to. Maybe like 6 new songs. Well, 5 now, to be exact, I believe, because there's 9 songs. We've heard 3, now 4, 5. Matt's King. Next up is Omerta, which we've heard. I'm going to listen to it again. I like Omerta. I think it might be my second favorite. Maybe Avalon is my favorite. And then it'll be interesting to hear Snowblind again, which was the first song they did lead with. But not a bad intro. Definitely not as intense as their first album's intro. That was like just how you start an album for me. It was like explaining how to deal with the nuclear blast going off. If you guys have seen Oppenheimer, it's essentially the ground zero. Is it ground zero, that nuclear test or whatever the fuck it's called? The whole nuclear explosion thing that went off in the story behind Oppenheimer and all that kind of shit. It was like the radio or the voice narrating how to deal with that. And it was just so intense. And then it dropped into Revenant and it just, yeah, incredible. So I don't know if that's my favorite album intro, especially compared to the last one. But I'm not going to spend this whole video comparing it to the last album. Okay, I'll try not to do that because no one wants to hear that. Let's keep going. I don't know what this website's going to be like for transitions. We'll see. Yeah, it's pretty shit. What the fuck is going on? It keeps lowering itself down. This is a fun riff. I'll give him that. Well, have a look. This is a once off for me, okay? Ignore. It feels weird doing this on camera. My mom is going to be watching. Pushing 30, by the way. Still scared of his mom's opinion that we'll be vaping. Yeah, it just feels very like artificial or something. Where's my pen?
Singing face. Remiss this microphone evaporates, put you on notice, position to liquidate. This ain't happy. Why go this far? You feel no sorrow, hatred, pain on mirage. No fucking happy. You've gone too far. You feel no sorrow, hatred, no sugar what you are.
Until it burns. Now. Great fucking riff. Do not get it twisted. This riff slaps so much ass. Where's my fucking pen? Oh, it's in the kitchen. Fuck. Very new metal. Oh, you little... This is the stupidest fucking website I've ever seen. If you scroll over the volume bar, it fucking changed the volume. Here's an idea. Don't do that. Fucking hell. I scrolled over it and then pulled it down and then panicked. It went even higher than it was before. What just happened? Fucking Jesus Christ. Okay, it's just not worth checking some albums out early sometimes because you get this goofy interface that just whatever. Anyways, look, I'm blessed to have this early, but it is fucking annoying. Spotify is just so much better for the visual thing, but you know, we get to listen to it on fucking Tuesday. Let me grab a pen. The song was pretty much over anyway before I probably killed multiple people that were watching this video with how loud that just went. Give me a sec. Pen. I'm going to have some writing to do because I don't want to just yap for the whole thing. But yeah, Omerta is a... What do we want to say about Omerta, man? Hearing it again, the riffs are fucking sick. It's the production on the vocals and even some of the noticeable kind of like... Fired your shots and you couldn't hit me. Whatever he says just feels like a watered down product of Allt. I hate saying this, man. I do hate saying it. I'm trying to be nice, but I'm just trying to be honest as well. You fired your shots and it didn't kill me. And like, it just seems like, bruh, you know? I don't know the full context of the lyrics, but it's a little bit of an aura deficit. With those, just that one little, you know, it's the flow and everything and the actual delivery is really cool. But this is what it just feels a little bit off. I don't know. It just feels like we got this like, this pop version of all, again, we're fucking 2 songs deep. I've heard one new song. Chill, Drew. Sorry. I'm just saying. I'm trying to be nice. It is a very like old school new metal Linkin Park feel, which I just didn't expect after the last album. Okay. Let them cook, man.
For your life, from the tower it blows. This is the wasteland I force for you. And inhale the fumes from bridges of burn over blessed unknown. I've got no time for renewals. Too much to sleep for, too much to pray. My time goes to the truth. Fight for the light, yes, to have to move. But to tell you the truth, never mind.
kind of bad omens you hear in some of their older stuff. Just with a Buster mix. I have a hot take here, okay? Holy fucking shit. Okay. Right. Pausing just before this transitions. Whoa. Mamma mia. Again, from my encounters with the Allt lads, blokes, fucking gentlemen, really like them. I love their music. I'm a big fan of their band, which is why this is always hard to talk about this. But this is my duty as someone doing this, and this is why it's even worth watching my channel, even though it's quite hard for me to see it that way because I'm me. But this is why it's worth watching anyone's react channel, in my opinion, a review channel, is that, like, what's the point if I'm just going to say I love something when I'm not loving it? And it's not even that I don't love it. It's just that I know from what I've heard what this band is capable of. And it just feels like they've okay. All I can think of when I'm listening to this song is like Poppy's album. It sounds kind of like the same, like, vocal production and just the overall feel of the song. Vocally feels like it's mixed the way like Jordan Fish would mix it, which, I mean, isn't too far-fetched based on the fact that, like, most modern bands are probably looking at the success he's had over the years. It makes sense. It's a sought-after sound. But I just don't think it's doing much to serve Allt, in my opinion. Some people are going to really like this, and it does have its place. And look, it's a second album. I keep saying this. All of my thoughts are not to say that this band is done. And it could get unbelievable after this. There's some good songs to follow. We know there's at least two. I'll say one really good song, and then the other one I don't love, Snowblind. It's decent. But I can hear that there's going to be a theme throughout this album. We've heard it in 2 songs now, with Omerta, Nevermind, Avalon, and Snowblind, that this is a very particular kind of like octane core, new metalcore feel they're going on. And don't get me wrong, there's still some fucking sick moments, like instrumental. I can hear the riffs and everything that are fun, but I can't get past it, man. It kind of sounds like he has some like preset AI filter on his voice that just makes him sound robotic. And that fucking hurts to say, man, because it's not from a place of like, oh, this is shit. It's just from a place of like, they've made songs like Aquila where they're singing. Like, it's not that I'm against singing. I love Allt when they sing. But this is a very different type of singing where it's like seemingly more reliant on maybe more pop-leaning mainstream vocal hooks with the aid of filters and effects that are giving it that like real pristine robotic feel, as opposed to the raw, grittier, like screaming melodies that they've gotten in like Paralyzed and what are the songs? Aquila is like one of my favorite songs from Allt. Revenant, I believe, is it Remnant? Remnant, sorry. Echoes, like I could keep naming songs by the band that have really big like screamy hooks that feel very full of emotion. This feels like it's completely void of emotion because of those effects, which makes all of the heavier moments just feel like they don't really land because they're landing after there's like a vocal call out or like a line of vocals which don't have much impact because of how they're mixed and produced. And then the riff, which can hit hard, just doesn't really have that same effect because it's not like, it just doesn't feel like it means anything because it doesn't feel like it's even coming from a human at times. And I'm really like harping on that. And I know I can listen to this no problem and just take it for what it is. But I hear a lot of music, and Allt they still are one of those bands that I really fucking, I've got on a very high pedestal. And that's why I'm talking about it in the way that I'm talking about it right now. But we have Enemy up next, okay? I don't want to. I'm just trying to speak to you guys as if I speak to someone who's beside me in the pub or whatever. And I know I don't have to keep saying this and like explaining why. You guys can hear it as well, and you guys might have completely different opinions to me. But that's the fun of this whole thing. Enemy's gotta. I just give me a fucking The Orphan Breed, bro. You know, I don't want to be that guy, but we're well overdue an Orphan Breed. Okay, do I think we're gonna get it? I just don't think it'll even fit in the album based on how they're setting this up. But I'm not gonna say no to an Orphan Breed. Enemy. If there was gonna be an Orphan Breed, it would be called Enemy. It would be called Enemy. All right. It does sound like Chester. It's like they're trying to go for that like exact Linkin Park vocal production, which is weird. What are they cooking here? That's a crazy palette. You know what? This song is the best so far. This one fucks. I can put up with the effects on this one. There's that Thal influence coming through. Yeah, we Thal him. Okay. Title track. I'm guessing that would be a cleaner transition. Title track, 2.5 minutes long. I quite like that song. I quite like the melody. Oh, that pitch shift. That's so low.
Shaking like a fall awaking, gasping out for air as the earth stood quaking. The noise in my chest starts suffocating. Burned every fuel's not a second's breaking.
I don't think it's that far off the vocal production on the previous album. It's just slightly robotic, slightly more. That makes a big difference. Like here, it sounds so poppy. This is their experimental album, for sure. It's their second album. Again, I quite like the it's just the production choice on the vocals, which has been the thing for all the singles. I tried to just be as on the fence as possible and just hear them out. And I am hearing them out. Again, I'm not hating it. It's just... it's a bit of a head scratcher. It is. It really is. But again, for a title track, just a very forgettable song. You know? I kind of forget what just happened in that song. And it just happened. Nothing to really cling on to, which was... I don't want to keep bringing up the last album, but it's the only big body of work. I know they had the EPs, but it's the only full LP body of work that we have to go in comparison. And again, like I said in some of my single reactions, they've done almost a disservice to themselves because of how good their first album was, that it's almost impossible to follow up, which maybe is where they were going with this. They're like, you know what? We're never going to be able to recreate that first album, so let's not try. It's kind of like to kind of somewhat professionally transition into something I've already been talking about, where a lot of this sounds like Linkin Park in moments. A lot of the vocal melodies and even the cadence of Robin with the effects on it sounds like some of Chester's moments, you know, across their discography. But to go back to my initial point, it feels like the kind of Linkin Park thing that they did, where it's like, well, look, we can't replace Chester, so let's not try and replace Chester. Let's not try and get someone in who sounds exactly like Chester. Let's just do something completely different and bring in a woman, bring in Emily Armstrong, change the sound completely, but also keep the kind of DNA of Linkin Park, I guess. But then no one can be like, oh, well, it doesn't sound like this, because again, we weren't trying to. So maybe that's the angle with this, with Allt. Again, we'll never know. I mean, maybe we will. Maybe we'll talk to Allt on the podcast at some point. And we'd love to have them on regardless. Even though I'm not like fully vibing with this so far. Again, I can come back to it and I can change my mind completely. But just so far, I'm not. But like, I'd be interested to know, was that like the game plan? Because I'm sure they agree that this is completely different to the first album. Not even just like, oh, like maybe the songs aren't as good in many moments. It's like a completely different stylistic approach. Again, especially vocally. I wonder if they would maybe suggest that that's the info behind, or I'm looking at the screen, I said info. The reasoning behind that is like, well, we can't recreate the first album, so let's not try. Let's just do something completely different and experiment. And what's popping right now, all this pop metal, which we have a lot of in the scene, which is why it kind of stings a little bit more to see that Allt are doing it. Even though it's not bad, it's just, again, the expectations are setting me up to believe this is going to be a huge album because of how good the first one was, and then they kind of go down this more generic pop route, even though there is still some cool moments in it, like guitar-wise and even vocally, but just it feels kind of lost in the void of all the other bands we've got in the scene right now, which is kind of sad. Of course, this always happens! The best song is always after I kind of have my moment where I clock out. Ultraviolence, oh yeah. I should have fucking shut my mouth before this one came on. You can't sing in an Ultraviolence song. Don't do it. I can't believe I'm telling Robin not to sing, because I usually love when he sings, but just on this, I've had enough. It's close. We're on the verge. I see what you're doing here, boys. This is like Silent Planet's thing they got going on. It's pretty cool. The little leaving that little dead note in the guitar at the very end is slick. Okay. This is, that felt very Buster out of home there. Oh. This is Snowblind. Okay, give me a sec. That felt very, very Buster out of home there. I think that was like a reversed, maybe guitar note or something. Pretty cool. But again, that song really reminded me of like what Silent Planet are doing, which is still pretty cool, but it just, again, feels like an attempt to be something else, which isn't intrinsically wrong. But sometimes, and this is where you can come across poorly when you're doing these reviews, is because it's quite hard to vocalize feelings sometimes. Like, I can just feel it. I've listened to fucking God knows how many hours of this band, and I've followed a lot of the journey thus far. I didn't come on at the very start, of course, but I did get into them with the EPs, and pretty much the whole discovery process of this band was documented on YouTube. So if you're unsure as to why my opinions are like this, and why maybe I'm a little bit more reluctant to get into this sound, just go and watch my progression through the band and me explain in real time what Allt were doing that I absolutely loved. It feels like a lot of that stripped back, and they are, in this album, one of the many kind of Buster Odahome-esque bands. And that always sounds like such an insult, and it makes it sound like I'm like ripping on Buster Odahome, which is not the case at all. But of course, when there's so many bands working with the same producer, there's going to be the same ideas that are thrown around. And I'm sure Buster has probably his own philosophies where he's like, well, I don't want to use Altt's particular nuances in this band's music, and I don't want to use this band. He probably doesn't try cross-contaminate. However, over time, there's only so many ideas out there, and it, just the impact of the drums, the tones of the guitars, some of the production choices. I wish I could check. I could probably check just to confirm that Buster's still involved. I don't know if I think he's always been involved in the production, which is fine. It's been incredible. But let me just confirm. He is a composer, so he's actually helping to compose the previous album. He's also mixing, mastering, and producing. So Buster's all over Allt. Assuming this is the same, that was from the New World. Let me see if he's still got the same credits on the new. So he's not composing anymore. I'm not saying anything. You know what? He's only mixing. I stand corrected. It's James Carey who's producing. And Dylan James is co-producing. Interesting. So Buster's not composing anymore. Fuck. All right, I'm not going down a rabbit hole. I'm not doing it. I refuse to do it. Let me just check Omerta. That was the credits for Snowblind. Composer is Robin, Ole, Victor, Adam, James Carey, Dylan James. And the Buster is only mixing and mastering engineer. Okay. So the production is very different, okay? And that is so obvious. It's so blatantly obvious. There's more trap beats than we've ever heard before in Allt. There's more like kind of mainstream pop sounding synth work. And not even just necessarily pop, but there's just more synth. There's like big room synths. There's pop sounding synths. It's kind of like dance music sounding synths, which we didn't really have much of, noticeably anyway. And the vocal production is massively different. So it is being produced by someone else. And again, it's not badly produced at all. I'm not trying to suggest this. It's just very different. And I can't explain it because it's a feeling. Well, I can kind of explain it. I mean, I've just narrowed it down to what it could be because, you know. But I hate doing this, man. I hate like fucking larping on as if I'm knowing better than anyone. I'm just trying to literally treat this as if I'm in the pub. You know, music is my fucking passion, man. I love this shit. I love talking about it. I love playing the guitar. I love learning about new production elements. I was only literally before I got on this, I was on a fucking guitar lesson that turned into like a how to use Reaper properly to learn how to, you know, even start writing my own stuff and, you know, learning how to create soundscapes and production and shit like that. I fucking love this shit. This is my everyday life. Every waking moment of my life is this. I don't want to ever come across like I'm just shitting on someone. But I guess sometimes you're a little bit disappointed. And I am definitely a little bit disappointed so far in this. And I'm just talking to you guys as if we're chatting about it in the pub that I will be with my friends, okay? I just happen to be doing it to maybe a couple of thousand people, which is unfortunate because I do look like a prick sometimes because of my opinions, but it's not like that at all. I don't remember this song sounding like this.
Transgressive, synthetic, we're crawling straight to the core. It's poetic, resetting, still begging fate for a war. Broke down by the cells we set. Crush me slow till I'm in the earth. After all the fires we set, we're burning, burning slow. Pray light on us. Nothing else here to see. Snowblind, wide out, split like frost at the seams. And I don't know if I wanna. I kid myself 'cause I gotta believe. Thin eyes, cracks now, and the cold might settle. Rented by the words we consume.
This song's hitting a lot harder. But I've also had the most time with the song, so it's familiar. I have an interesting point that I want to talk about after this.
Save us as we drown. Play light on us. Nothing else here settle.
Okay. Oh, it's over. Fuck. Before this starts properly, I want to just talk about this before we get into it, because I think this is just an interesting point that I've thought. Maybe it's not interesting. Sometimes you don't really know when you're sitting here by yourself. You're like, is this an interesting point? I don't know, but I'll talk about it anyway, and then let people destroy me in the comments after. So I'm thinking about this right now, and I just hearing this again, I'm like, oh, Snowblind's actually, not bad, which I don't know if that says a lot about the rest of the songs we just heard, if Snowblind is starting to sound good. Sorry. Jokes out of the way. These are all solid fucking songs. They're solid, modern, metalcore / thal pop songs, okay? Sometimes bands, we've seen it, I won't say many times. Bring Me the Horizon is the big example that people, famously bring up, of like a band that has changed their sound a lot and drastically changed. And at the time, it's like, oh my God, this fucking sucks. And then years later, people come back to it and they say, fuck, you know what? They were ahead of their time. I was first thinking that like, oh, Snowblind's starting to sound better now. Granted, it's only been like a month since this song came out. And I'm like, maybe that's just what it is. Maybe I'm just not hearing it right now. But then I kind of stopped myself. I was like, Drew, of course, there's still a percentage possibility that is the case in a couple of years' time. But like, this isn't actually different. That's the thing that I counter myself with, that this isn't like something that I just don't understand right now, and that's why I'm not loving it, because it's so far left field and no one's done it before, and maybe in a couple of years' time I'll come back to this. It's actually the opposite. It's like they've gone away from what made them really unique, and they've actually made themselves a lot more generic. And I don't mean this disrespectfully at all. I just think that's like objectively what's going on here. The production techniques are way more generic. The composition even feels more generic. The mix isn't far off. It does sound a little bit different. It's still Buster, so I can't even like argue that like, oh, it's a new mixing engineer, but it does. Maybe it's just this website I'm using. It's like I'm literally using some random fucking digital delivery Sony website for sharing songs, like watermarked, so it probably doesn't sound as best as it could, but like I can hear it clearly enough. It just doesn't feel like this is something that I'm like overlooking right now, or I'm like, maybe this is going over my head. It just feels like I can see it for what it is right now, and I just don't think this will be very memorable in years to come, which again is fine, and I am just one person's opinion. But I did have that thought where I was like, maybe it's just over my head. Maybe in a year's time, maybe this is like a Bring Me the Horizon thing. Obviously, that's a very dramatic example. But like maybe in 5 years' time, we go, you know what? That Allt album that people didn't really enjoy, and it was like their first kind of switch up, was actually genius. I just don't think there's enough new things in this to make it, like, it feels like they've just taken a lot of things from other bands that we've already heard a million times before and that are like very popular right now. So like, it just kind of loses that argument instantly, because it's like, again, I'm the worst human being alive and I hate myself. And I'm sorry, okay? That might not even be Robin.
Can I be honest? I'm running from myself, and I can promise that I can feel alive, but I still want this moment, somewhere I can breathe, holding on to feed the flames, waiting for a witness to pull me under. I try, holding my breath, stuck in the side time.
Okay. Yeah, look, I'm not going to be... I refuse to be the guy that's like...
Drowning in the calm, yet it feels
Hold on.
like healing. My head is still a mess, but my heart keeps beating. I'm running out of time anywhere it goes. Just wait for the waves to bring closure. Drowning in the calm, yet it feels like healing. My head is still a mess, but my heart keeps beating. I'm running out of time.
So bring me here.
Just wait for the waves. Just wait for the waves.
Even the... Oh, 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 it just feels like tropes. I'm sorry. It feels like they've read the manual on how to make like a big modern metal pop song. And we've heard the fucking... Could this get any worse? We've heard the fucking final track as well, because it's a single! Sorry. It's not a bad album. It's not a bad album. I'm just wrestling with my heart and my brain and my gut here. They're all conflicting. Fuck!
Saw the sky crack open wide. Colors split where stars collide.
Got me fucking smoking. The boys got me back on the smokes. Oh, I haven't smoked since I was like 14. Don't listen, mother.
She whispered back, you're everywhere, my dear. Now I'm here, going overboard.
Like the fact that I know exactly how the album ends already when I'm in it. Like the album's over. I just pause it here. Why do you do this, Bonds?
Took a breath to let it
Sorry.
go. What's it for?
Why? Why'd you put the fucking... Sorry. Don't get me wrong. If it was a fucking S tier song, I wouldn't be complaining.
Wash over my soul.
Ah.
What if we turn back the time? Save yourself, 'cause no one else will. Impossible, it's overdue. Say it through, I get it.
I love the piano.
Stumbling, told me I regret it. Want
Again, there's like the alt
to
DNA is in here somewhere. I can hear it. It's just... It's like someone
baby, go, so on we go.
gave them some MDMA
Cutting out the truth I see.
and like a big shiny golden belt. What? Inflated their ego a little bit, you know? I'm just having fun with it now, okay?
Now I'm here, going overboard. Stuck on you like nothing else.
I'm yawning, sorry. That was... Fuck, that looks so bad. I'm just tired. It's been a long day, okay?
I took a breath to let it go. What was it for?
Alt, don't hate me, please. I know you guys are gonna watch this.
Wash over my soul. Oh.
It is a big outro, to be fair. Oh man, it's over. And now I have to think of a rating. Fuck. Well, that was an obnoxious. Is that how it normally ends? I don't know. Okay, that was Allt's sophomore album. It only dawned on me the other day that that's why you Americans say like you're in sophomore year in college. Does that mean you're in like your second year of college because their sophomore album is their second album? I don't even know. Maybe sophomore isn't even the second album. I don't know. I just heard that once, I think, and now I'm associating it with that. But anyways, regardless, second album. I'm just stalling here because I don't know what to say. Clearly a little bit on the disappointed side, but not surprised. I could see this coming from a mile away with the singles. I tried to maintain some level of positivity and not just jumping on the bandwagon of shitting on the band. Because, again, very important to stress that it is their second album. They've lost a very, very, regardless of how impactful he actually has been on the previous album, but like just name value, they've lost a massive name by the credits on Spotify in the production realm and the composition realm in Buster Out-of-Home. Anything that Buster Out-of-Home seems to touch turns to fucking gold, and he is no longer working with Allt to the same degree that he was on the previous album, because he's gone to the fucking moon. I'm sure his prices are probably just fucking like, we can't afford you anymore, bro. I don't know what the actual situation is. He's still mixing and mastering it, so it sounds like Buster. Like the final product sounds like Buster, but the actual musical composition, look, maybe this is just like, maybe it actually has nothing to, I'll never know. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll find out someday. There's a very clear missing piece of the puzzle here based on how much their sound has changed from the previous album. And I can't help but be like, okay, well, Buster's not helping with the composition anymore. He's not helping with the writing anymore. And he's not helping with the production anymore. Two fucking massive things. Because Buster's literally known for how mental his production is and how cool it is and how unique it is. Obviously, his mix he's very known for as well. He's the modern day GOAT. Let's just call it what it is. We've been saying it for years, but now it's like with the whole Bring Me the Horizon thing, he's kind of getting his flowers as like the GOAT. And to lose him on your second album is not ideal. Whether they would have gone down this path with Buster anyway, maybe so. It would feel odd for them to switch up this much just because they lost Buster. I don't know. Like, this is a very intentionally different album. It's not just like, oh, it sounds kind of like From the New World, but sounds a little bit like more shit. I'm saying that very like on the nose there. It's not that. It's like they've actually just changed their direction completely. So I don't know how much I can attribute this to like losing Buster Out-of-Home playing a bigger part in the album. But of course, it's a fucking massive talking point that I didn't actually see anyone else talking about in the lead up to this, because maybe people were just paying attention to the credits as much. But I had to check it. And yeah, I'm not surprised by this because, again, the singles were just, in my opinion, not of the same quality for what I'm looking for in, specifically Allt, because I know what their sound is or what has been. But again, I don't want to go too hard on them. It's their second album. I don't think this is a bad album by any stretch. If this was like a completely unknown band that dropped this album and their freaking debut album, I'd be like, okay, this is fucking cool. This is a band to look out for. But because I know what they're capable of and how drastic the sound change is, I do find it a little bit like, this is kind of upsetting. Obviously, I can't playlist songs right now. I don't even know which songs I would playlist from this. Yeah, they're all very listenable, but I didn't really feel anything listening to this, whereas with the From the New World album, I really did. It just had such a cool theme. I don't really know lyrically what this album is about because I didn't pay too much attention to the lyrics because I don't have them available to me and it was harder to hear. But like the main thing is just like the clear leaning into the pop vocal productions, the introduction of like a lot of trap beats and like 808 sound, just more kind of like modern hip-hop sounding moments. Obviously it is leaning into the world of like new metal as well, so some of those like trap sections do make a little bit more sense, but also the synth work, there's just a lot more of it going on, kind of big, more generic modern metalcore and modern pop synth work. I think the main thing for me is that, again, to go back to the idea that I touched on with maybe this is just going over my head a little bit because it's maybe so fresh that in years to come, people will look back on this and be like, oh, this is, the blindsided slap from Allt that we didn't see coming, that, you know, they were so far ahead of the curve, and all of a sudden now, 5 years later, it's like we can see it because all the other bands have caught up, like Bring Me have done so many times. This just doesn't feel like that. It doesn't feel like that at all. It actually feels the opposite. It feels like they've taken a step into a more generic world. And again, that could be very, very intentional. Maybe they're looking for that cheddar. I don't know. But to me, this actually, when they're at this level, to me, that doesn't make sense to want to step into that world, because they have such a core fan base for how niche and cool their sound was. It feels like you're going to lose the fucking most valuable fans. Not lose. If you're actually a fan of the band, you're not going to just step away and like hate the band because they've changed their sound. But what I mean is, just from like a music enjoyment standpoint, you're going to lose the like really tight-knit group of people that were ride or die for the actual music alone, because they're like, you kind of stepped into this world of like, you know, more accessible pop music to maybe gain more fans, which I have seen. To play devil's advocate, I have seen people commenting on my videos where they're like, I'd never heard of Allt before, but this makes me want to go check them out. And hearing that their older stuff is even better, that's even more exciting. So maybe some new people will get into their stuff now and be like, this is great. But then they'll go back and they'll have the opposite opinion to what I have. So look, again, it's all completely subjective at the end of the day. But my subjective opinion of this is that it is quite a big step down in quality from the New World. And to give this album a rating, I think I'm gonna have to be very honest with myself here and say that this is like a 65. I want to say even 60 album for me. Maybe I'll say 65. I just listened to the new Motionless in White album, and that was buns. And I don't want to beat a dead horse with what I said about that album. It's all available on my Patreon, because I ain't posting that shit on YouTube. I'll get absolutely fucking flamed. But it just wasn't a very me album. And I gave all my points. Again, I'm not going to explain it here because I'll be here all night. But like, I'm not just saying it was buns for the sake of it. I just had a lot of opinions on it, and as to why I thought it was cheeks. This is by no means anywhere near the level of buns as that album. So therefore, it doesn't get as low of a rating. But where my expectations were after the previous album to where they went to after the singles to where they are now, it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens in the future, man. Maybe they'll say, look, that was a fun experiment. Let's do something else. Let's go back to the kind of original sound. But this just unfortunately kind of feels like just another album that will drift away down the river of generic modern metal, which again, I am not opposed to. You know me, you see some of the videos I post. I like some generic. Give me a fucking clean chorus. But it's kind of like the President thing. Honestly, it's kind of like the President thing with the vocal effects. It's like, I can hear that some of the songs are actually quite good. There was some moments in that, I think Enemy might be my favorite after hearing it again, or hearing even the singles again. But it's like just certain moments that I feel like I'm being held back in because of the vocal choices, the vocal effects. I love Robin's voice. He's got some of the best scream vocals in the game for sure. He's got such a visceral scream. It sounds amazing. It still does sound amazing. But it's the clean vocals and the singing, which he's not a bad singer. Again, Aquila and some of the singing songs that they've had in the past have been fucking incredible. That like sing scream is so good. It's just the fucking concoction they have going on here with the little, it's like they got a little bit too far ahead of themselves. Like just with the little, hey, people won't notice if we just drop a little bit more of this in there. You know, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to go into the fucking technical side of it. You know, why would I do that in a review channel? But like, you know, it's just a little bit of like, maybe a little bit of vocal effects on this here, spruce that up a little bit. And it's like, maybe they just lost the run of themselves. It's like, let's just make this sound like a robot. Fuck it. It is what it is. Anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on Allt. I'm going to give this a 60. You know what? I'm not happy with a 65 and I'm not happy with a 60. So let's say 62. Crazy to even say that. After From the New World, it was like at least an 85. It was at least an 80. 85, pushing maybe. 84, 85. On a good day, an 86. Incredible fucking debut album. 65 for me. 63. 63. 63. 60, 62. 62. It's fucking so pointless doing numbers. But 62 is where I'm going with Allt's Ataraxia. On first listen, it could change. It could go down. It could go up. Time will tell. Thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. That's the most important part. Let me know. Allt, I love you guys. Don't hate me, okay? I gotta be honest. I gotta be honest with my thoughts. And that's just how the cookie crumbles. Yep. Anyways, I am going to get off and jump out my window. I'm not. Okay. Okay, bye guys. Thanks for watching. Leave a like. Make sure you're subbed. See you in the next one. Goodbye.